Hello guys, welcome to the Trading Parrot. Yesterday I shared this tweet on Sunday when I was explaining that after having so many touches of the red dotted resistance line on the 4-hour RSI, this push around here could be the beginning of something really big. That was yesterday, Sunday at 5:44 p.m. In the past weeks, I've been saying that we have lost the momentum to the upside. So it was a pretty risk entry, in fact, a counter trade. But I mentioned that if you are up for the challenge, the first target was going to be RSI 60 and the second target RSI 70. And as you can see, this ended up playing beautiful. We not only broke above RSI 60, but we also retested 60 to make a second push to RSI 70. So even I cannot believe it because I was thinking that this was a quite risky entry, but it played out very nicely. In today's video, we're going to cover the daily and the weekly time frame. I'll show you around some on-chain data analysis indicators as well that I think are worth for you to have a look. And I'll give you my take on this next breakout. Bear in mind that even though the momentum is to the downside, we've been taking quite a few counter trades, starting with the breakout from the purple line, which play out beautiful with this price move all the way to the top, forming the head of this inverse head and shoulders. Then we took the breakout of the dotted red line around here that moved the price from 65 and currently to 70 and still not stopping. And there's a final breakout that we could also squeeze some value in the 4-hour, which is based on breaking out from the top yellow line. In my opinion, if the previous breakout was already risky on Sunday, this is definitely the riskier of all these three breakouts. And the reason is because we are breaking out from an already very overbought area, from 70. So how high can we get from 70? Unfortunately, we don't have any reference because we ran out of trend lines to start drawing how high we could go after this. Since we lost momentum, I tend to think that we're going to struggle to get anywhere above the previous high of the RSI of 86 or 90. But I was also thinking that it was going to be very difficult to break out from the red dotted line, and we still made it. I even say that I'm invalidating the head and shoulders inversed, but currently looking at this, it doesn't look that bad anymore, since we kind of form a right shoulder that is way larger than the left, but we have a very big green candle here, one of the largest in quite a while, and is pushing against 70. You can see this green line on the top, that is the target that came from the reverse RSI at 72, which is already gone because we managed to get to 71, so there's very little left of that. But if we actually close the 4-hour above this final resistance, there can be another move to the upside. In the rest of the video, I'm going to look into where is that liquidity so we can at least have some expectation on how high this thing will keep going. Do not forget to leave a like and a comment below to help the channel. If you're taking any of these trades, make sure that you have an account either on OKX or on BingX. I really like OKX because they have the bots, and I'm also hosting this event that has 6 days left, and there's 100,000 USDT in a prize pool that includes MacBook Pros, iPad Air, and Apple Watches. The link is in the description. I'm also running this event that has 32 days left to compete for 10 BTC in prizes. Again, that's in a link in the description. And if you cannot get access where you live to OKX because of KYC or future perpetuals limitations and you still want to trade with leverage, have a look at my link in the description. BingX exchange is very KYC friendly, and I'm currently offering up to 6,000 in rewards if you sign up using my link in the description. The first 100 people that sign up get a no questions asked $100 bonus for free. And one of the things I like about BingX is that they also offer access to stocks, indices, so you can use it not only to trade crypto assets. On the daily, we are still forming this downward sloping channel, and we still don't have a clear idea of where to place the top of the channel. All we know is that we have lost a heck of a lot of momentum. We are halfway towards the lower end of the RSI already. We were saying that since we were here at the top, that I was waiting for this channel to be formed, and that's precisely what we are currently doing. Even if you see this bullish price action here, the channel to the downside is still being formed. Another thing that could happen is that the price could make a higher high here and reaching even 75K, and that will still form a lower low here in the momentum, creating a very strong bearish divergence. Please note that bearish divergences are not always playing in such a bullish type of market, but eventually they must play out. And I'm not only talking about the bearish divergences, but also about all the different aspects that I usually take in consideration for my personal bias towards the market, including fundamentals, on-chain, and the macroeconomy perspective. I think it's very likely that we're going to reach some area around the 65 on the RSI. If we look at the price, that is currently located almost at 76K. So even if we reach this level, that looks like a descending channel, you can see that we can still make a higher high on the daily time frame. And that is just nuts. But at the same time, if eventually we get there and we start printing that bearish divergence and that one plays out, that could mean that we do some movement like this, hitting a top of the channel and then a reversal. That reversal, of course, doesn't need to reach the bottom of the channel at around 30 RSI, because that will be really painful, but it could do a higher low. I'm starting to think for the first time that we could potentially build a channel around here, meaning that we can get to that level, come back here and break out somewhere around here. This will mean that we have a continuation to the upside to this bullish area around there, which is what many people are waiting. If you want me to tell you that I have changed my mind and that potentially we can start forming such a channel as opposed to filling this area here, please make sure that you're following me on Twitter, because as soon as my bias changes based on the facts, on the current events and developments from different indicators, I am the first one to let you know via Twitter. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel, because that's where you're gonna get the full detail of my analysis. On the weekly, we are doing something once again that we have never done before. It seems like this channel is becoming like the collections of all the things that Bitcoin is doing for the first time. It's such a baby asset, only 14 years is nothing. And I'm sure that Bitcoin is going to do many more things that surprise all the Bitcoin maxis, and particularly the people that have never traded any other asset apart from Bitcoin. You can see here that in this cycle, we have 5 times the RSI above my limit of 84. Before halvings, which is all these vertical red lines that we can see there, including the one that we are about to visit in 24 days, we never reach an RSI above 84. This one here is pre-halving, this is pre-halving, and pre-halving we also have recently an 84. And we thought that was it, but actually for the first time, pre-halving, RSI is coming above 84, sticking around this area for a while, and last Sunday we closed below 84 just by a tiny fraction. But this week, again on a Monday, this weekly candle information is pointing upwards. And that is a second thing, and the most impressive thing that this is doing is that it has never done that. Not just being above the 84, but after being above the 84, not selling out, not coming back, not resetting, but actually starting pointing up again is something new. Let me show you the rest of the chart, and you're going to see that every time we go above 84, we have a very decent correction of the RSI, at least 20 points in a straight line to the downside, if not a lot more. For example, here as well, we go above 84 and then we come back. In this bull market, we come back and we do 37 points down. In this area here, we do 42 points down after being above 84. In the early days of Bitcoin, that wasn't an exception either. Every time you are above 84, then you have a big move of 30 or 40 or 50 points back down to reset the RSI. But no, this time RSI weekly is becoming completely out of control. This kind of market feels very similar to have all your assets on top of a horse that doesn't have a rider and you have no clue where it's running towards. It could be anything. It could jump straight into the ocean. It could hit a train. Who knows? Currently, it's bouncing on 84 for the first time in history as a support. And we have to give Bitcoin credit for that. Of course, it's a candle information. We close below 84 and the rest of the week could undo everything that we are currently seeing on a Monday. Exciting? Yes. But in my opinion, there are 90% chances that we could undo this movement to the upside, leaving us with still 10% that we can get lucky and it keeps pushing higher. At the moment, on the daily, this is looking very bullish. Most of the traders at the moment are calling out for a breakout on Bitcoin, and that's why we are seeing this move. On Sunday, I talk about a squeeze, and that's pretty much what we've been seeing on Monday, and we could continue seeing the rest of the day. I want to make an overview on the monthly. This is really impressive. At some point, the March candle was at roughly 60K. That was going to leave us with a massive week to the upside and a rejection of this whole band formed by the highest close ever of Bitcoin to the previous all-time high, which is giving us all this green band, and currently we are above the all-time high. If we close March in this situation, we're going to have to go with the green arrow as a forecast for what's coming next. It will be really low likely that we close above such a resistance, a previous all-time high, and we do not continue going higher. My preference is definitely to come here. Remember, I sold Bitcoin at 73K, and I told you there are still chances that we can continue going higher. It's just that I'm not putting my assets on this crazy horse without a rider. We need Bitcoin to do what Bitcoin does, which is eventually to reset and provide a lower risk entry. If you wonder if I'm going to rebuy Bitcoin above 73, potentially, as long as I catch a price that I think is a good opportunity in terms of the risk to reward. Currently buying this, which is flagged 99% as a top, and betting that we're going to get lucky that we close March above it and we just continue going higher, is a very risky bet. At the same time, I think that if we close above this, we're going to significantly impact the length of the cycle, making it very unhealthy, very short-lived potentially as well. So if we want a healthier cycle, not up only, means that your holdings are safer for a longer time developing to the upside. Just as an example, the previous cycle was extremely unhealthy because there was the COVID crash here. And right after we crossed the previous all-time high formed by this, we only had 4 months left. After that, everything became pretty crappy environment to trade, as opposed to previous cycles that once you break an all-time high, you get a lot of extra room to the upside because the foundations of that particular bear market cycle allowed for that to develop to the upside. And any unhealthy cycle is condemned for a very short period pushing high. So if we break above 70K and we start going up non-stop like a blow off top, that will put the cycle in a very risky state, calling for a very soon end at least of a local top. For example, if we break out here and we made it to 90K, there could be correction of 40 to 50%. And that thing could take us to 40 to 50K, and that will require at least 1 year to potentially have a second top, which could be even higher than the first top. But after you have such a damaging and wide pullback that affects all traders, the recovery process is very slow. For example, here we have a top in 2013, and then there was a massive pullback of almost 73%, and that is happening within a bull market. This is not bear market. And the problem is that this causes everybody to leave the market, and that's why it requires over 244 days to make a second top. So do not be surprised that if we continue going to the upside, we make that big push, but very soon we have a massive correction followed by a period of over 200 days, potentially a full year of a rounded bottom where many people will leave the space. Only the hardcore maxis will stay there, DCAing or adding to their positions, hoping for a second top to come. Guys, a very quick update on the running bots. I want to show you the performance of the most recent additions as well, starting with statistical arbitrage pairs trading. I talk about this bot in many videos in the past month, but I was telling you that it's still not available. Right now it's available and it's running really nice. It's a bot that is market neutral. It does both long and shorts at the same time using statistics, particularly the co-integrated pairs and statistical arbitrage. For the month, it has made 20% and in total 22%. So have a look at this bot as well if you want to trade on this bot or any of the other bots that I have available on Signally. The link is in the description. It's called Copy Trading Bots. You do not need a TTP subscription, but of course, if you have a VIP membership or you have any trading parrots of my NFT collection, you can join my Discord server and claim a massive discount in success fees. All right, guys, see you tomorrow. Take care. Bye.